Welcome back, Bendejos. I rolled out of freaking bed for this one. I am freaking amped. I am absolutely amped to relive the wonderful, amazing, there's a fucking hair, the amazing night that was Garcia versus Onama, and do a little recap for you guys. Absolutely insane card, eh? Um, yeah, this was some bullshit. There was some good things on the card, obviously, and it wasn't an awful card. But let's be real, guys. It was a pretty ass card. We kind of know that the next two fight night cards are just atrocious. But it is what it is. I'll go through the whole card, bottom to top, as always, as we do in this channel. There'll be timestamps so you can skip past the fucking 8 million chick fights that were on this card. I'm surprised they did this many female fights for this card. It was a lot. But yeah, I guess I had to put him in somewhere, eh? Where else are we going to see Caitlin Biera other than in the freaking Apex, brother? But it is what it is. Main event, obviously, just to go over it quickly before we dive back into everything. Very impressed with Steve Garcia. I didn't think it would be this easy for him. Good on him. Co-main was crazy. I mean, some weird controversy. I don't know if they should have given Waldo Cortez Costa that win. I mean, I know we got the KO, but like that was on some bullshit. But yeah, interesting fight card. Not like, we're gonna speed run this reaction because who the fuck gives a shit about Ariana colonoscopy? The Couchon herself. This is a battle of the midgets. Right here we got Tatalina Alenka versus Ariana Coronel. I don't even want to try to pronounce it. I barely watched this fight, but from what I watched, Tatalina was just way better takedowns, striking in general. Yeah, so good win for her. I mean, it was kind of obvious. Phil Rowe versus Seokyoung KO was a good fight. Again, there was a lot of fights in this card where I was seemingly distracted by doing other things because most of them freaking suck. But I picked Seokyoung KO, so we're actually 2-0. I actually think I did pretty good in predictions of this card without actually watching half these people fight before, which is retarded. I just went based. I mean, chick fights. I just went based on looks. If I went based on looks, I probably should have gone with the man troll here, but I did not. My bad. Which female looks more masculine? Phil Rowe versus Seokyoung KO. I was gonna say good fight, but not really a good fight. Phil Rowe is pretty good in the striking. He has okay jiu-jitsu. He's very, very content staying on the bottom, and he has. I mean, he did try to get up in like certain positions, but Seokyoung KO's like grappling was more than good enough to deal with Phil Rowe on the feet, and they just took him down and just basically held him down and just ground and pounded him. And Phil Rowe, like, I know he was trying to stop the takedowns, like that was his whole thing, but he really had awful takedown defense in general, and accepted positions a lot. Like there was a lot of times where he accepted positions where he probably could have exploded, scrambled up if he just went after it, and he didn't. And then on the feet, he was like, he was kind of like, he was okay accepting the fact that he was going to end up on the ground. And they're like, you got one more round, Phil. You can do it. You can knock him out. And then immediately gets taken down and held there for the entire fucking round, bro. And I know like that's what happened in this last fight and he got a KO then, but yeah, wasn't happening. So we are what, 2-0? I picked Alice Ardeline because I didn't want to pick the scary clown, Montserrat Ruiz. To be fair, didn't watch this fight, but good win from Alice Ardeline. I like peeked over at this win like a couple times, or this fight a couple times, but I didn't really watch much of it. But I did get it right, so I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. Eh? I picked Norma Dumont for this fight as well, so that's what 4 in a row. However, I don't really necessarily know if Norma Dumont won this fight. This was a very close fight, and it was like sorry, let me get some H2O here. That's how I feel about watching these fights, bro. Norma Dumont won, and good on her for winning. But it was like one of those fights where, like, I mean, you look at strikes, Norma Dumont's up a bit, grappling, Caitlin Vieira's up a bit, but it was pretty close. And I do think Caitlin Vieira probably won 2 of the rounds just for like grappling and control. And yeah, it was still like pretty close on the feet. Norma Dumont did like maybe a little bit more damage. I don't know. It was one of these ones where it's like kind of a shitty women's, fight, and like, who knows who would have won. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. I got this one right. Fuck me, we're 6-0, man. That's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5-0, rather. 5-0 is good though. Let's go. Round of applause for the kid. I picked Dante Johnson for this one. I just picked Dante Johnson because he's Dante Johnson. No, I picked Dante Johnson mainly because Cedric Dumas is shit. He's actually one of the worst fighters ever, and you can't really train MMA when you're in prison. That's not necessarily it, but I really don't think Cedric Dumas is very good at all. Dante Johnson, there was a couple questions for me about Dante Johnson because on Contender Series, I thought like, yeah, his boxing was okay. His technique seemed pretty, I don't want to say rusty kickboxing because it's not really rusty. It's just like he's very new to the sport. So like he's 6-0, but he's only been, is he 7-0 now? He might be 7-0 now after this win. But he's only been like fighting professionally for like 1 year. So he's got like 7 fights in the span of like a year and a half, which is crazy, by the way. But he's been fighting like he's at 185 now. He's still like, he's big and strong for 185. He's short for 185, but big and strong, which is fine. But he was fighting at heavyweight, and all the guys he was fighting at heavyweight were just dog shit, right? And he's like super athletic, comes from playing football, very, very strong, and he's got like one punch like KO power. So he basically just, runs at these unathletic heavyweights and just hits them with one big shot, and then they're injured or hurt or rocked, and he just swarms them. So I was a little bit worried about that because like the skill level at 185 is going to be a lot higher, and he's still pretty new to fighting in general. And he actually is not bad. He showed a lot of really good things in this fight. Do I think he's like a like decent level UFC fighter yet? No, but I do think he can be for sure. And I think he's gonna be one of these guys that's like, if he can, because you listen to this dude Dante Johnson talk, and like people like Dante Johnson, if you get what I'm saying, you just can tell that there's going to be no fucking technique or game planning going into this guy's training. He's got his grandma as his fucking main thing, and his grandma's come straight off the fucking trailer park in her panties and her underwear with her fucking dart in her mouth, like, fucking give him the overhand, Dante. So, like, where he's getting his instruction from, but honestly, his technique didn't look that bad. I was actually, like, I was impressed. His wrestling in general didn't look awful. His submission defense, his get-ups, his ability to get back up to his feet didn't look that bad, and his striking didn't look that bad. I'm just not like that. Like, he has athletic potential to be like one of the better fighters in this division. I just don't know if it's like, is he going to spend the time working on the technique and game planning and actually like understanding fighting at a higher level? Because Cedric Dumas level, he's going to do just fine with his athleticism and just being fucking athletic. But when he gets up to like, the best at 185, it's not going to work. So he's going to need to eventually build some game plan, technique, fight IQ. And he doesn't have, it's not awful. Like, I'm not saying it's awful. It's just like, you listen to him speak, you watch him fight, and you're like, okay, Dante Johnson is one of these guys that like, it seems like there's like 3 brain cells going on in there. But he knows the 3 brain cells know like 3 things: fight, post-fight interview, Jesus. And he just talks about the 3 things. My grandma raised me, my brother fight in the street. All glory to Jesus. I'm going to fight this guy and beat him up. And that's what he does. So, honestly, he looked really good. He stopped all the takedowns from Cedric. Actually, first round he got taken down, but he did fine on the ground, and he was able to get back up. Not like too bad. One thing about Dante Johnson is he really, again, same as like Steve Garcia in the main event, he really like pressures the fight, and he really chases after the fight. So he's walking you down, and he did get taken down off it by Cedric Dumas, but I think it's just something like, for him, like, he wasn't quite expecting that quickly, and also like, first fight in the UFC level where it's like, okay, like these guys, he's gonna be like, okay, these guys can't take me down if I pressure too much. So I just have to make sure when I'm pressuring, I'm a little bit smarter about it, or I have a little bit better takedown defense at the beginning. But otherwise, he looked really good, and he got a submission. So he's been getting first round KOs in every single one of his fights, 6-0, and now he's 7-0 with the submission. Kind of an interesting submission, but it worked, and Cedric Dumas' poop. So yeah, but Dante Johnson looked good. He's really good at cutting up the cage, really good at pressuring, really good at getting into a fight. And the thing with Dante Johnson is if he does hit you, like you are gonna get hurt. So very good win from him. Timmy Kowamba versus Quang Ho Lee. This was a good fight. I got this one wrong. I went with Quang Ho Lee, so this is the first one wrong. So 1-5 now, I believe. But I picked Quang Ho Lee because I thought he would be a little bit better in the grappling, and clearly he fucking was at the beginning of the fight. He kind of like got a takedown and then like ended up taking the back from Timmy Kowamba like right away in the first round and just literally body lock. Timmy Kowamba's standing up. Quang Ho Lee's literally just on his back the whole round. Looking for submissions and stuff like that. Great first round from Quang Ho Lee. He looked really, really good and clearly won that round. I think it didn't show the level of grappling that Timmy Kowamba has just because Quang Ho Lee got such a dominant position so early on. He was kind of just on defense the whole time. Second round, we saw Timmy Kowamba's grappling, like the level that truly is versus Quang Ho Lee's. He's good. He's got good grappling, man. He definitely had the advantage in the striking. Quang Ho Lee's striking, like against the level of the skill level of Timmy Kowamba, isn't quite there yet. But he did a really good job of again pressuring and just causing the fight. Like he would just like throw big shots, stepping into range, and then drop to a single, double leg against Timmy Kowamba. And Timmy Kwamba's striking definitely cleaner, and he was landing some big shots on Quang Ho Lee in the second round. But excuse me there. Quang Ho Lee's busted Timmy Kowamba up, and there's an argument. I know Timmy Kowamba won, but like there's an argument that I think Quang Ho Lee won, and it was a really close fight. Like that second round, when you watch it without the blood that's all over Timmy Kowamba, I would say he won, right? Like he won that round. He was landing the bigger, harder shots than Quang Ho Lee. Quang Ho Lee just didn't get busted up like Timmy Kowamba did. But and he did do good in the grappling. Quang Ho Lee got him down and he reversed, and he spent like the last little bit on the ground in dominant position. But Quang Ho Lee, like if you look at it damage-wise, he's the one that busted Timmy Kowamba up and had him bleeding that whole second round. Timmy Kowamba was landing really good shots, but Quang Ho Lee landed a lot of shots, and like mostly just stepping to range kind of sloppy, but they were hurting Timmy Kowamba, and you could see it on his face. But even though Timmy Kowamba didn't bust Quang Ho Lee up, he definitely landed like really big shots that you could see just like rocked and like Quang Ho Lee just like got blasted. He's like, whoa, and then drops down and goes for a takedown. So it was a close fight. Third round was definitely Timmy Kowamba's. It was like down to that second round. And it was close, but I do think Timmy Kowamba, I do think he won it. But it was close. Like if you gave it to Quang Ho Lee and I got my pick right, I wouldn't be bummed, but it was not that. I picked Billy Alacana on this one. You know, I always talk shit about how bad Billy Alacana is, and then he comes and does some half decent shit. So he's not that bad. He's not ass. He's not ass. Kevin Christian did look really good though in this first round. He got the sub on the Contender Series, but he looked really good keeping it at range with the low kicks. The low kicks were nasty, just blasting inside low kicks, shin on shin. Doesn't give a fuck. Billy Alacana had a huge like hematoma, but yeah, dude, Kevin Christian got a little bit overconfident, and he was dominating that first round for sure. But he got a little bit overconfident, and he got caught. He's so tall and so big that he does kind of like lean back with his chin up like this when he's getting out of range. Doesn't even get out of range. He just leans back like this to get out of range. And Billy Alacana countered him beautifully with a right hook straight to the jaw. And bro went down like a sack of bricks. So great one from Billy Alacana. You know what, dude? I got no hate in my heart for this guy. He seems like such a nice guy, dude. He's so soft spoken. He's like, thanks, guys. Thanks for the support, you know. I'm going to do that at my next YouTube video. I'm like, thanks, MMA YouTube, for the 50, 60 views. We're going all the way to the fucking top, baby. But yeah, he seems like a nice name. His nickname is shit. Son of Susie, like Billy, son of Susie Alacana. Like, bro, no shit, your son is Susie. What does this even mean? What does this mean? There's some bad nicknames on this card. I think they're higher up, actually. I gotta figure out which ones they were, because there's some bad ones. Cody Durden. versus Alan Nascimento. I get this one right, but I literally just picked Alan Nascimento based on his fucking physique. He's actually half decent physique. Because I really haven't watched a lot of this guy's fights. He hasn't fought a lot. In the UFC, he's been pretty inactive. But holy balls, is his striking bad, dude. Alan Nascimento's striking is trash. If you're getting outstruck by Cody Durden going like this, like, bro, come on. Alan Nascimento, first round, looked super. Yeah, it was first round. Yeah, looked super just almost intimidated by Cody Durden, which is crazy because you have these guys that come in like Alan Nascimento. Like, this dude is fucking huge for flyweight. Like, this, he's almost 5'9", and he's not skinny. He's not like he's got like this big upper body and on toothpick legs. He's a big ass dude for 135 or 125. I know they weighed in at 130, but like he has to make 125 when they fight normally. So I guess it was short notice, right? So Cody Durden maybe wasn't gonna make weight. I don't know. But yeah, like when you have this big ass frame, like you're a specimen for the weight class. Somebody like Michael Morales, like we talk about at 185, or even Dante Johnson. When you're this dude that has this big physical presence, why are you backing up? Why are you like the guy that's intimidated? Why are you the guy that's scared? You need to be walking these people down. Like, if now Alan Nascimento was walking Cody Durden down, this fight would have been over so much earlier. Like, but he was just on the back foot, like kind of like scared, super hesitant, not throwing first. A lot of the guys and he's not a good counter puncher or anything like that. I know he got a counter shot KO. Forget about that. Forget about the finish that he got. He's really not good at counter striking. His striking isn't that good in general, but he's not throwing first, so literally everybody's just getting off on him like nonstop, and he's got this like kickboxing, shoot box style, hands really high like this. It's fine, but it definitely does not work super well if you're not coming forward, and if you're just backing up like this, you're not really throwing counter shots, and you're just getting fucking pieced up. Like Cody Durden would just jab, bob his head back, double jab, right hand, whatever, because Alan Nascimento, one, is blocking like this, which he's just getting blasted with jabs straight down the middle because this isn't covering shit, or overhands over the side or down to the body, whatever. And he's not firing back. He's just standing super tall like this. So he's just getting kind of pieced up. He's not moving his head at all. I was really disappointed in his striking. I know he's more of a grappler and he has tons of grappling or tons of submissions on his record, but his striking really didn't look that good. And you saw in the second round and the end of the third round when he started to fight fire with fire on Cody Durden and just like start to throw back, hold his ground more. That's when he had success because he's big and he's really big and strong for flyweight. Like if he just holds his ground and like sits on punches or like, you know, kind of gets after people, like he's going to be an intimidating, hard guy to deal with. But he's on the back foot and he's not throwing, he's not countering. He's just letting the guy, you know, hit him with shots, and then like before he has time to think about what he's going to do next, like, you know, you just switch up the stance, switch up the pace, or another shot. Those guys are my favorite people to spar with because they're just like, they're up here like this, you bop, 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 and then step off, low kick or something like that, switch stance inside low kick, bop, 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 right? And they're just not, they're just taking too long to reset every single time. So anyways, Cody Durden looked impressive for Cody Durden in the first round. And second round, he just kind of got like a little bit like overconfident almost with Alan Nascimento just coming in. Like he was just, the problem with Cody Durden is like he was doing the right things, but his striking is still kind of shit. So like he's throwing his jab and he just like, first of all, you know, you throw a jab, like you want to throw it like straight, you know, whatever. You want to like throw a nice jab. Cody Durden's jab is like elbow to the side, like that, right? And that, you know, you have your whole chin open, you get counter elbowed. And that's exactly what happened. He just got a little bit too reckless and maybe just feeling himself a little bit too much against Alan Nascimento because he really was doing what he wanted, like having his way with Alan Nascimento in this fight. Just kind of bullying him around the cage. And then, yeah, then he got countered. Bro. Refund for Cody Durden. I think he's like 6-1 in his last, like he's lost 6 out of and won 1 in his last like fights, whatever that is. Like maybe 1-3, lost 3, 1-1, lost 3. That's checked, but I know Cody Durden like took this on short notice, but dude, he's got to be close to getting cut at this rate, man. I really don't think he's that good, right? Lost to Nascimento, but he's losing to good guys. Like Jose Ochoa, I think, is a really good guy at flyweight. Obviously, Joshua Van's pretty good. Al Nascimento is not bad. Beat Matt Schnell. Yeah, he looked okay in that fight, but wasn't crazy. Lost to Silva, lost to Tagir. And then won against Hadley and won against... No way he won against Johnson. Charles Johnson. Fuck, eh? He's got some half decent wins. You know what? Keep this bitch around. Keep this man around, eh? He has been fighting a lot of the better guys at flyweight. I will say that. But Cody Durden is really not, in my opinion, a very, very high-level fighter. He's... You know, people like Alan Nascimento who are like look really, really good and like naturally athletic, but then you watch him fight and you're like, oh, this dude isn't like that naturally athletic. Cody Durden just doesn't look naturally athletic, and he isn't naturally athletic. So it just gets a little bit of both, eh? We got Chuck Buffalo in the Fukin building. I picked Chuck Buffalo to win this fight. I really think I'm like 7-1 now, or what is that, 8-1? That's crazy. And this is a winged prediction. So, Mr. Chuck Buffalo with the dub. We love Chuck Buffalo. He basically just went out there and fucking mauled Daniel Frunza in this fight. Took him down. I know he's mostly a striker, but yeah, he showed great takedowns, great grappling, and just took him down and just literally just dominated him on the floor. And one thing about Charles Radke is like he's like a fighter again. Like he'll address the fight. He'll be the guy coming forward. He'll be the guy like if it's stand up, like he'll be throwing leather with you, ground to pound. Like when it is in the grappling, he's not just holding you there. He's throwing ground to pound. So good fight, very very dominant win from Charles Radke, and he got the submission like end of the third round, like right at the end. He almost got the submission in the first round, and it was crazy how deep it was. And Daniel Frunza like was just fighting the hands on this this submission. It was wild. Like, was this which one was the one where it was like the rear naked submission and bro was punching? Fuck, but that was higher up on the card, eh? Yeah, that was higher up on the card. I don't think that was the Daniel Frunza one. Yeah, that was the Isaac Dolgarian one. But yeah, Daniel Frunza did an amazing job of fighting off the submission, but you saw like the end of the third round, after getting beat up on the feet, beat up on the ground, he was just a little bit too tired to fight it off, but he had good heart, good grit. He's a gritty dude. He's a gritty customer. And, yeah, he looked good against Charles Radke, but Charles Radke looked way, way better, obviously, and won. Good win for Charles Radke. This dude is, I don't want to say he's a problem, but he's not a bad fighter at all. Isaac Dolgarian. This guy has a trash name, right? Isaac Dolgarian's nickname. Is he going to pull it up if I click on him? This is maybe the name I was thinking. The Midwest Chopper. Now, this isn't awful, but man, there's one guy in here. I remember looking at the nickname, and when it came up on the screen, I was like, what in the fuck is this? Maybe it's higher up. But Isaac Dolgarian, yeah, I know he got dominated by Yadier Del Val, who I do think is really, really good. He was a favorite coming into this, like a big favorite. But Isaac Dolgarian didn't look too bad at the beginning and on the feet and stuff. But like, dude, Deval is like a really good grappler. Why are you grappling with him? You have an advantage in the feet. Don't grapple with this dude, man. Don't grapple with this dude. And he grappled with this dude, and I think he thought that he couldn't get submitted in these positions he was in because he was just like, I mean, anybody who watched the fight all saw like DC just ranting nonstop, but fight the hands. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you at a high level not fighting the hands? But it's kind of true. Like, bro had a full on like rear naked choke pretty much locked in, and bro's punching him in the back of the head, or like he's using like his one hand here to pull one down. And once he gets like any room to breathe, like from the rear naked choke, he just like literally just lets it go and then lets the choke get back on again. So it was kind of weird in that regard, but I think it was inevitable. I think your Yadier Deval, like no matter what, was kind of just going to end up in the grappling with Isaac Dolgarian and get the win. So Good win from Yair Deval. I don't remember who I picked on this one. I might have picked Isaac Bulgarian. So I might have got that one wrong. I can grab a computer charger quickly. 1 sec. I need the computer charger, Mamadou.
I ordered a loop.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I hope you like it.
Thanks.
Yeah, we back. Sorry, guys. I just had to get a computer charger so it didn't. My computer didn't die when I was breaking down freaking Jeremiah Geodude Wells versus Temba Grimbo. Fuck, I got this one wrong too. Actually, this is where it starts to go down a little bit. I refuse to say I got this one wrong. I will just put that out there blatantly. Jeremiah Wells versus Temba Grimbo. Again, I'm sorry, Jeremiah Wells. I'm not familiar with your work, bro. Dude's an unk in the sport, and I honestly don't think I've watched one of his fights. I might have, but I didn't do no research for this card, bro. So I wasn't really sure how good Jeremiah Wells is. I did pick Temba Grimbo because I thought he could keep it on the feet and kind of outstrike him on the feet, keep him at range. Bro wanted to grapple, and honestly, first round he did good in the grappling. He did really good in the grappling. I didn't know that Jeremiah Wells is like known for more grappling, so that was my bad. I didn't know, but I was watching the fight. I was like, damn, Temba Grimbo was looking good in the grappling, and he did. He looked really good first and halfway through the second round in the grappling, but bro just got fucking tired, dude. He got tired, and he was doing good in the grappling when he was on top, but once Jeremiah Wells was in a dominant position, Temba Grimbo didn't have much for him. First of all, Jeremiah Wells is built like a fucking Geodude. Like he's literally a Geodude from Pokemon. And when you got fucking Geodude lying on top of you, or in full mount, or looking for a head and arm triangle, good fucking luck, dude. This guy's back is like wider than his back is like twice the width of Temba Grimbo. So he's just sprawling him out. It wasn't like a very interesting fight. It was an okay fight. I was impressed with Temba Grimbo's grappling, his takedowns and stuff like that, and he did look very good in the first round. He just made some mistakes that like kind of put him in bad positions on the bottom against Jeremiah Wells, and then it was like, yeah, Jeremiah Wells was just pretty dominant on top against Temba Grimbo. Like when he was looking for submissions, head and arm chokes, couple nice shots, couple nice elbows at the end, but nothing crazy. More just looking for submissions. One thing I'll say about Jeremiah Wells, there was a lot of opportunities for him to just like, he was in full mount, like decent amount of times against Temba Grimbo, and he could just rain down like fucking elbows, 12-6, punches, anything, and probably would have got him out of there. And he just was looking for the submission. So next time, Jeremiah Wells, if you're watching this, which I guarantee you probably will not watch this, but just throw punches, brother. Throw those punches. Like you would have got a finish. So this was a weird ass fight. No way this got fucking fight of the night. Are you fucking me, bro? This got fight of the night. This fat salsa boy Costa, bro. Fight of the night for this shit. Dude, he didn't even win. Like, I'm not coping, but like, bro, that was stupid. That was fucking stupid. Like, this was dumb. So, for anybody who didn't watch the fight, first round starts off. Antigalisha looks super good in the fight. He's putting it on Waldo Cortes Acosta, and yeah, he's just looking really, really good. He gets Waldo Cortes Acosta up against the cage, and they both start swinging. Antigalisha's landing some really good shots. Gets Waldo Cortes Acosta kind of hurt. In the moment, nobody saw the eye poke, but Antigalisha lands a good shot. Waldo Cortes Acosta kind of covers up like this. And like bends down, and Antigalisha just starts teeing off on him. Ref calls off the fight, like fully calls off the fight. And then Antigalisha's running around the cage like he won, like super stoked, cheering with his family, friends, whatever the fuck you want to call it, jumping on the over the cage vibe. And yeah, all of a sudden they're like, no, it was an eye poke. And then you wait like 10 minutes. Like reviewing everything, making sure Waldo Cortes Acosta can fight again, like thinking over whether like, they should actually, just fully restart the fight from having it finished. And they end up doing that, which is retarded. Not retarded, like I get it, like accidents happen, but it's just stupid for Antigalisha to lose a fight that he was winning. Like I think no matter what, if that fight went on the way it was going without the eye poke in that situation, Waldo Cortes Acosta was getting slept in like a couple minutes. Or like a couple seconds, like 30 seconds to a minute. Because Antigalisha was teeing off on the fence. His striking was way cleaner. He was landing the better shots. And yeah, dude, he was going to hurt Waldo Cortes Acosta eventually in that position, whether there's an eye poke or not. And then basically they come back out. Like 30 seconds in after the ref starts the fight, after this big break, Antigalisha like literally won the fight. Waldo Cortes Acosta hits him with a beautiful like 3-2 count, like 3-2 counter shot almost, and just flatlines Antigalisha, which was just stupid. It was like Antigalisha literally won the fight, and then like, no, we're gonna like run it back for round 2, and then just gets fucking flatlined. I understand like why they did that and what happened and stuff like that, but it was just like one of these situations where it was like just unfair for Antigalisha, like really unfair for Antigalisha. He doesn't deserve that. He's been putting in the work. He pretty much just like took a huge step up in competition and beat a guy like Waldo Cortes Acosta, and he should be looking at like a top like 5 opponent after like a win like that, which he did basically get the win like that, or at least it was looking like it. And then he ends up getting flatlined, sent back. So like, first of all, unnecessary damage that Antigalisha probably wouldn't have received. And also just like a stupid win for Cortes Acosta as well. I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty lame. And to be fair, like when you watch the replay, Waldo Cortes Acosta literally parries the fucking eye poke into his own eye, dude. Like, Antigalisha's got his hand right here, and he's just like ready to just throw. And Waldo Cortes Acosta literally just slaps the finger into his own eye and like eye pokes himself, basically. He basically fucking eye poked himself, dude. Anyways, this is just a weird fight. This one was just balls. And then our boy Stevie, the evil elf Garcia. I picked Steve Garcia to win this fight, just because he's Steve freaking Garcia, man. I know Steve Garcia, dude. Honestly, he's so good. Like his striking is really good. It looks a little unconventional, a little odd, but it is really good. His striking is very, very high level. You can see the way he's always moving his head offline, always slipping like or whatever. Even when there's not being shots thrown, he's still moving his head offline. He feints like really, really well. He switches stances a lot. He's in southpaw, which is different for a lot of people. He's really, really good with all the shots where he extends them fully. Like every shot he's throwing, like he's got a really long reach with the shots because he's extending them really well too, and he's already got long reach. So he's hitting people at the end of these shots like really nicely. He's mixing it up really, really well with jabs. So he's like jab, 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 right hand, uppercut, right hand. And then right after that combo's finished, he'll go jab and then go jab, jab, body, right? And it's always something to think about, always nonstop, and always mixing up the tempo, the pace, where the strikes are coming. He did do a lot of boxing in this fight. There was like very, very few kicks until he had David Onama hurt. But he's just a really good striker. He mixes it up really well. He's going to put a pace on you. He's going to throw a lot. And he's going to throw hard. Like a lot of his shots are like not like touch, but like 50%, like bop, 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 and then sits down on one or fully extends with one. And those are the ones that he'll just throw it really hard. Like doesn't have to be perfect. David Onama's got his hands up, but it doesn't have to be perfect. He'll just throw it hard on the guard, like up here, try to wrap it around a bit, and it's still going to rock somebody if you throw it really hard, and he understands that. And yeah, he just got after David Onama, and David Onama was trying to fight like too clean of a fight, and he just didn't have a lot of output. He was just like more on the back foot, trying to take his time, trying to maybe like try to be the more technical fighter or the cleaner fighter, or just wait it out a little bit, get into the later rounds. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he just had very low output. He threw literally 2 strikes, as you guys can see. So he had low output, and he was just on the back foot, and Steve Garcia literally just got on him and just pressured him. And then, like, again, that pressure is going in Steve Garcia's favor, and then he lands one big shot, has David Onama kind of hurt, and Steve Garcia just puts it on him. But he's very, very good, like, when he's pressuring you guys or when he's pressuring guys and he's looking for a finish. He's not going crazy, but he's not letting off the gas. We see some fighters where they're like, they either just go wild and they blow the finish, or we see some fighters where they just don't, they have the guy hurt and they just don't pressure them at all. Steve Garcia is very, very calculated with that, and he's got the perfect mixture, in my opinion, of pressure. He's looking for shots. He'll have the guy rock to look for a shot to the body to hurt them even more, something like that. And he did land a nice front kick to the body on David Onama that kind of hurt him, and then he threw some more follow shots. Uppercuts were nasty at the end. Steve Garcia is just really good, dude. He looks really, really good. Send him up the weight class, man. I was looking at featherweight. There's a lot of guys up there that I think he can beat. There's some guys that I don't think he can beat, obviously, but there's a lot of guys that I think he can beat. Like, he's better than fucking Pitbull, that's for sure. Pitbull's ranked ahead of him, and I definitely think he beats Pitbull. So I would like to see the mean machine Steve Garcia move up. One thing I like about Steve Garcia is that he's always there to fight, right? Like, and that's not like a reason I like him, but that's the reason why I think he does so well. Like, and we saw in this fight, like, he really does just go out there to fight and get after you. But he's got really good technique and pace and cardio, which help a lot. But he's one of these guys that, like, when we talked about Alan Nascimento earlier on, the flyweight, who just, he's always on the back foot. Steve Garcia is a guy that's always kind of coming forward, controlling, cutting off the cage. He does a really good job of cutting off the cage, but he's the guy that's bringing the fight to you. And it's a lot easier to win a fight when you're the guy that's, addressing the fight, bringing the fight towards the person. So great win from Steve Garcia. This was a long-ass breakdown for a goofy-ass card. And we got one more goofy-ass card next week. So get used to it, guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.